saxologist on the Saxofriends podcast. Today I have a very special guest, a sensational violinist from down south, and she is wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss JaVonne Jones. JaVonne, how are you?
Everyone. I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy, and I've been following you for some quite some time, and so I'm really thrilled that you would take this time out to let me interview you.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate you letting a violinist be on your show.
You know what? You know what's funny? I said saxofriends because that's where the friends part comes in. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm one of the friends.
And I want to, and I was telling Frank, your boy, it's funny that I didn't know that him and I were from the same town until a few
Oh,
years ago. Yeah, we grew up in the same area and stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
That,
So, I have lots of questions for you. First of all, I want to start out by asking you, uh, when did you get the bug to start playing any kind of instrument?
well, prior to fourth grade, all I could do is remember my general music classes. That was like the most fun that you have in school. Never thought that I would play an instrument, but I went to church one Sunday morning. I had my sister with me, and there was this young African American woman playing the violin at church. I had never seen it before. Like in my adulthood, sometimes I wonder if it's some of those greats that like Gina Carter, Karen Briggs, or somebody when they were younger and I saw them, but I have no clue who it was. But I saw them at church, and I said I want to play that. And here in Augusta, where I live, they actually have orchestra programs starting in fourth grade. So I started in fourth grade, and I've been playing ever since.
That's amazing. Do you play any other instruments?
I don't play them well.
That's
I
okay.
well, when you play the strings, you kind of play all of them. Not I don't really do much upright bass, but I do have a bass guitar I kind of play around on. But we do a little bit of violin, viola, and cello just through teaching and everything. So I'm not terrible on those. But anything else, I'm kind of rusty.
That's all right. So
Mhm.
you know what? That saxophone. First of all, any instrument is not easy. We can agree on that, right? All of them are. But the violin, though, Javon, is one of the hardest instruments to play.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just had a love for it, like, no one had made me do it, I just wanted to play it,
Yeah, and that's
and
all right though.
you know?
You just
Mhm,
had to get that, and it is such a beautiful instrument.
mhm,
And being from in the South, like you were saying, you said you had a great classical program that you attended
mhm, mhm.
during
Yeah, we
school.
have, in the school, and I played from 4th grade through 12th grade. We
Wow.
had mhm.
What's the most difficult part about learning the violin?
Um, let me say this. People probably would not believe me, but when I say everything about the violin was effortless for me, and that's how I know it was like a gifting. Um, yeah, it really was not hard to me. It's weird. Um, as I got to like college and had to play certain type of classical pieces and things. I mean, they were tricky, trickier rhythms and higher positions, but like for the most part, everything kind of came to me easily. And I think too because I had good practice habits. That's the thing. Kids don't want to practice. So and look, I talk to some grown-ups too, they don't either. But however, I digress. But yeah, it's just been interesting. So like when people ask me like the steps I took to play certain things certain ways, I'm like, it literally is like God just put it in me to do it. Some other things I can't even explain.
You found your purpose. You found your purpose. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you play, and the first time I heard you a few years ago, I was like, wait a minute. Well, at first I didn't see you. I just heard the violin. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
thinking this a guy. I said, brother, just killing it out there. And then I
Yeah.
looked up there. It says JaVonne Jones. I said, okay, she got some, you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I enjoy doing it. It's fun for me. It's something, but it's my passion. It's what I love to do.
So let me ask you this. So when you were growing up, did you get any gigs when you were like in school? Did you play any with any bands, anything?
When I was in maybe like 15, maybe 14, 15. I was a part of a ministry. It was a music ministry that was formed by this guy named Grady Allen out of my church, and he's a saxophonist.
Okay.
And it was called Ministry and Songs. And what he would do, his ministry was really to teach young people instruments, and he had access to different instruments, and he would bring in people to teach so that the kids didn't have to pay for them because kids in the area where our church were, they couldn't afford lessons, so he was kind of giving them lessons and everything. And so I'm a kid, so that gave me my first teaching experience to come in and teach younger kids how to play. And but we would actually like play together, like the group. So we'll be everybody, like we're a little band. I mean, violin has never been in a band, but
Right.
in this instance, we were, just playing together, doing, learning gospel songs and things, and playing them together as a group as teenagers. So it was great. Wouldn't per se call it a gig, but it gave us our first experiences of playing in front of people and together, in an ensemble type of way. So it was great.
Yeah, like you got your feet wet then, right? Pretty
Mhm.
much. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yes, and then I started doing like church events. Like every time my church had a program, they wanted me to play something. I wasn't for no pay, they wouldn't go pay, but it was still, like I said, it was about the opportunity to kind of get my feet wet and get some exposure to being in front of people. Because, like, some people don't like to be the center of attention,
yeah,
so it's kind of uncomfortable for them. So I'm glad that I started when I was younger because honestly, I just never knew I was going to be a performer ever. I mean, I enjoyed playing, but
yeah.
a performer, because I do have a little timidness about myself too, and about being in front of people. I just never expected it. But I am glad that I had those opportunities as a child to kind of nurture that. So it wasn't as hard for me to be in the forefront as an adult.
Okay, so when you started to doing your own thing, people would say, "Hey, I mean, there's not a sax up front. There's a violin player up front. So, I
Mhm.
mean, you good with this? I mean, she's great. So let's bring her in." Is that what kind of like what happened there?
Well, with you mean my first starts like doing like gigging
Yeah.
opportunities and things?
Uh-huh.
Um, well, I was in college. Maybe I just graduated college. When I first started doing any gigs, like real gigs,
Uh-huh.
I didn't start doing them till I was all practically grown, practically grown. But a friend of mine, Darlisia Lau, she's a string player out of, she's in Atlanta, but she's from Birmingham, and she and I got together to compete in a talent show. We just wanted to kind of spruce it up because we knew you can't put no classical on the stage at the talent show, you'll get booed off. So we tried to put together some hip hop arrangements, to play. So her husband put like the music together, and we played like Salt and Pepper, just some little simple stuff because we were classically trained, and so we sounded real basic trying to play anything different. But we played and we won that talent show, and from there, we had an opportunity to do Ricky Smiley and Friends. He was doing a tour years ago, and he was looking for opening acts. So we auditioned to do that, and we won his talent show.
Oh,
And so we got to open for Ricky Smiley. We were in Huntsville, Alabama, and got to open for him there. And while we were on that show, he said, "What y'all doing tomorrow?" And we like nothing. He said, "Y'all want to go to St. Louis?" We are like, "Yeah." So he had us open for him in St. Louis. His manager gave us cash money to drive. We had to drive, of course. But we drove on, and then when we were coming back, we were like, maybe we should try to be a group, you know? And we started kind of marketing ourselves together, doing photo shoots, and that was when we got our first gigs. Like at my start was with another person doing duet gigs. And then shortly after that, I moved to Augusta. And because I moved home, it's like I know I can do the same thing here. It's just by myself.
Yeah,
And I started to establish myself as I'll say as a solo musician. I won't say an artist, but as a solo musician then. And from there, I kind of evolved. I started to get gigs, and I started to have like the same opportunities. I did the Ricky Smiley and Friends tour in Augusta once I moved here, and I was able to open for him here. So that kind of put me on the map in Augusta when I got back, and that's how I got more opportunities. And ever since then, it's just kind of been up from there.
that's beautiful. So, man, do you have relative pitch or a perfect pitch?
Oh Lord. I have been known to have perfect pitch. However, the older I get, I'm like, it used to be when I was younger, I was real perfect pitch. I was perfect pitch. But now it's like, ooh,
People
yeah.
like you with that perfect pitch. So it's like, because I know a couple of people that had that too. It's like you guys can hear anything and be like, oh, that A flat right there, that wind chime there. It's like, ooh,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like that. Huh?
Like listening, like, oh, that's F sharp.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not as sharp at it as I was back in the day. It's like, ooh, but yeah.
So let
Mhm.
me ask you about your repertoire because your stage presence, first of all, you're always on point. You glammed up, and
Yeah.
your stage presence when you're up there, the confidence. I see the confidence in you, and you just like you zoning out, just doing your thing. Am I on to something?
Yes, sir. I mean, I just really enjoy it. It took me a long time to get to that point because I told you a few minutes ago about when I moved home, I established myself as a musician, a solo musician, because I really wanted to just, hey, book me for that wedding or that ambiance music where I can go in the corner over there, plug in, don't have to talk to nobody, just play my music, make my money, and go home. Like that's how I
Mhm.
started out. And I actually really, really liked that. And then I could tell when I started to evolve because I said, I don't like for people to really talk while I play anymore. Like I want people to pay attention to me, right? And that's how I knew I kind of evolved. And I mean, you have to be honest, like you have to give people something to pay attention to. Like you can sound good all day, but like you still have to captivate the audience to get them to want to pay attention to you. And I've always had conversations. Me and Frank have talked so much about. I said you can blow your horn and you can woo the ladies and you can walk around and you can give them a rose and you can sit on a lap. I can't do that, I can't go to a show and do that. So I had to learn like, okay, what songs do I need to perform so that I can keep the audience going because I don't have that thing that I can do. And so I started make sure I do I don't want to call them chick songs, but sing along songs and just songs that people can engage with when I play. So sometimes when I love to do square bids and I just did a show with this guy named Willie Soul, and he said, "I love when you do that square biz," because he said, "I ain't know a violinist could or a violin could play square biz,"
Yeah, yeah.
And I just like it's one of them engagement songs with the audience. I get to do singing, I get to do rapping, I get to do playing, so it kind of reveals that I'm not just a musician, I'm an actual artist, I'm an actual performer. I put time and effort into doing this, not just learning my instrument and learning the songs, but actually like putting together something that make people want to be a part of the experience. So yeah.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this: what is your process of learning these covers, these beautiful covers that you play? How do you come up with your set list, and how do you figure out which one that will work on violin, because every song doesn't work for every
Not
instrument. I know there's a sax player, like you try to play something like that ain't gonna work, Yeah.
a lot of people do not realize that every song is not for the violin.
Right.
Like when I first started, I started out, people knew me as a hip hop violinist. And I said, I don't even listen to hip hop, but it was like that trending thing. And I tried to get into it a little bit. And I was like, I'm not hip hop-ish. I'm kind of like a lyrical person. Like I love to listen to songs. I listen to the melodies of the words. I'm listening to the track and the background music. I'm listening in my head, trying to play out harmonies. I listen to music, and so I mean, nothing against hip hop. However, it's just not what I play. I got out of that, so I'm not just doing that anymore. So I don't play much hip hop at all. But I started listening to a lot of old school music because when I started getting booked, it was always an older crowd, that crowd that loves 60s, 70s, 80s music, 90s. And it became those people. Those were my niche audience, and they were the ones that were paying the bill. So I got to learn what they want to hear.
Right.
And so I started like listening to set lists, Spotify, YouTube music. So a lot of times I still now ask Alexa, "Hey Alexa, play 80s R&B," so that I can kind of see, am I playing like the top notch songs of that era, in my set list. And sometimes they'll throw one in there and I'm like, I didn't even think about playing this. And then I'll play around with it and I'm like, oh, it's in a friendly key, or oh, it's a pretty nice melody on this song. Like this is something I can play. Um and that's pretty much what I do. I listen. I don't even try to pick up an instrument unless I'm riding, listening, listening to it 24/7 until I can hum it, sing it. And once I hum and sing it, I can play it because I got that, not really necessarily perfect pitch, but I can from there, I can just play it. So most of it with me is just sitting with the song, listening to it, learning those melodies, singing it a little bit so that I know the form of the song and I know how this goes. And then I'll find an instrumental track that goes with the song and I'll try to do my singing. I don't learn words, but I just learn the melodic flow and I'll hum it. And then I'm like, oh, I know how the song goes. Let me try to play it. And then from there, it's just that perfecting of it from there. So that's my process.
All right.
So that's how I learn my music. But when it comes down to my set list, I always kind of stay in like I said, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I do some music from the 2000s. I don't really go too far up from there. But I just kind of play for my audience. It's easier when you know what your audience is going to be like because you can kind of tailor your list. I got a booking manager that tell me when people book you, they know what you play, so don't change your list up. I'm like, I get it. However, sometimes it's good to, you know, expand your repertoire some and do some different things. So
All right. So I understand that I was reading your bio though, and you have two degrees, right? Two college degrees.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You have three?
Degrees.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay. All right.
Bachelor's in music education from Alabama A&M. With my focus was in strings, but I taught general music because really, if you got a degree in music, you can teach anything. That's what they think, but and then I went back to Alabama A&M and got my master's in secondary education with the emphasis in strings, as which means technically I could do high school band, choir, whatever, orchestra. And then I went back to school. After that, I went to cosmetology school. I don't put that on anything, but I took a year off of work, went to cosmetology school at Kenneth Schuler in South Carolina, right across the bridge, North Augusta, South Carolina. And then I went back to school to Nova Southeastern University. I have my ed specialist degree in educational leadership. So that gives me the ability to be a school leader or a school system leader in my area of concentration. So
That's
it
amazing.
used to be a focus that I wanted to principal a school or um, be like a fine arts coordinator. As I have continued in education, I think differently now. However, I do have the credentials if I change my mind.
All right. Now
Mhm.
you do private lessons. You teach private students right now.
I
How you
do.
like that?
I like private students. I think I resigned from my job in 2020 and I was full-time musician for 4 years. And during that time, it was like, let's pick up them students. Let's pick up them students because that's a good other way to make some income. I love it because I like the one-on-one, the individualized versus trying to teach kids in a whole group that are obviously on different levels, which can kind of be frustrating from a teacher and a student standpoint. So the private lesson I love, the kids don't feel as bad being by themselves and playing. And that's what we kind of work on, building up their confidence. I do a recital at the end of the school year so that they get an opportunity, just like me. You got to stand in front of some people and play. And if it's your parents, I don't invite outsiders. It's just family, people that they're comfortable with. And then hopefully one day as it grows, I can start having bigger audiences. But right now they're very intimate programs that we do for the students to kind of show off what they learn. So I enjoy it a lot. When I went back to work in 24 last year, I have not put as much emphasis on private lessons. So I haven't really done much to grow them. However, I do want to get back to that because I mean, our kids need it, and our neighboring systems don't have strings.
Mm,
So it's still good to be in that element doing that because these kids that don't get it in the neighboring system can be coming over here to us in Augusta. So it's my hope that I get it back. But when you all over the place, oh my goodness, I'm not. Sometimes I'll be glad to have an afternoon without having anything to do. So
which brings me to my next question. I was going to ask you, do you like I mean, you're an entertainer. How about the travel and the touring though? How does that affect you? Would you like to do local shows more than you would do going elsewhere or what?
I would love to do travel shows anytime. I mean, local shows are cool because they're home. You don't have to go nowhere. I mean, you drive down the road, 20 minutes, you're where you need to be. So local shows are always good. But I prefer traveling. I like to encounter new audiences, new people, build relationships with people in different areas. I'm finding out the more areas I go to, they appreciate music differently. Instrumental music, let me say, instrumental music differently. And I like to go because oftentimes, versus where I am, there's more love for the instrumental music away. Um, just like Jesus, his hometown don't get much, whole lot of love in the hometown.
That's
No, but Augusta's been great. I don't wanna play like they haven't. They were my start. They were my base support when I was nobody knew me,
right.
So definitely, and Augusta still comes out. It's still people that have no clue who I am. Where have you been? I am right here.
Yeah.
But I don't do a lot of shows locally unless I throw them. Um, and more of my opportunities are away. And I love to travel. At first, I didn't really like the driving as much. I still don't really like driving. However, if it's close enough for me to feel like I can drive, I'm gonna drive it and go. Um, but I enjoy it. The weekend, it's like I feel like I go from Friday to Friday. It's just like, oh, it's the weekend. Where we go this weekend? What's happening this weekend? That's how people talk to me now. Where you go this weekend? My mama said, where you go this weekend? So which that's a very good, it ain't a problem. That's a very good thing. Like
Okay.
I really would love to do it more, to be honest, and experience more places.
I
Mhm.
understand because I we'd love to see you out here. Come out to Cali,
Mhm.
Spaghettinis or somewhere. I'm right there. Okay.
My cousin, she lives in Napa.
Okay.
And she's always like, "You gotta get out of here. You gotta get out here." And I was like, "Yeah, we gotta make some stuff happen." She said, "It's wine country. People would love it and all this stuff." So I told her, I said, "We gotta find a way to get me out there." I sure will. I sure go.
Because you have the talent, and that brings me to another question. Though. Are you an indie artist right now, or you on the label, or you?
No, no, this indie artist. Yeah, I when I first started doing music, well, writing music, I would just be doing covers forever because I'm fine. I just love playing music that I relate to and resonate with. And then as people used to ask me, like, when you gonna put out a CD and all this stuff, I was like, I'll do it. I'll try a cover album. So I started with the gospel cover album, which I didn't realize was so expensive to do. Covers, trying to license all that stuff sometimes it's like, oh my gosh. However, I did a gospel cover album called My Testimony, which I don't have any hard copies, but I still have um, digital for that. And then I released a project called Heart Chronicles. This is during COVID time when that was released. And that was an original project. But I did that because it's like, John, you need an original project, like something that is yours and not somebody else's. So that's what got me into it. And now people are back like, it's been a while since you did Heart Chronicles. We need another project. People trying to get me to do a smooth jazz track or something because I do have aspirations to do like festivals and things like that, but trying to get into that market. Um, but I just haven't gotten sat still to get that done. Let me just say that. I haven't sat still long to get that done.
That's hard though. I know a lot of artists that have that same problem because for some reason it's like the same people. I've been out. I've been out here for 35 years, and I love live music, so I've been to all the shows. But the
Mhm.
jazz festivals now, it's like it's always the same people though,
Yeah.
and half
Yeah.
of them ain't even jazz. You
Yeah.
know, so
And that was my thing. I said, I'm not technically playing jazz music. I'm doing more so like I said, the covers and things.
right.
I mean, I do the band, I do them with tracks, whatever. We jazz them up, but technically I'm not jazz. However, I sure go on there. I get me one good song and get on there and play it and play everything else that I like to play. you know, but yeah, I noticed that it's a lot of the same
Yeah.
people that be on all of them. I never did see politics behind that. If I mean, I'm sure there is some.
So yeah, it is. I've talked to some of the guys, out here, and yeah, they like, man, it's just I don't know what I got to do. I'm playing my butt off. I done did this. I done sold records. I still can't get in festivals. So
Yeah,
that's just
yeah.
how it is now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean, I've been trying to just make sure I just keep working. I mean, that's all you do. Keep going, stay relevant, keep posting. Because people don't realize the power that's in social media. It's so much power in social media. Like I would not be where I am without God and this Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, that's how I got really relevant.
yeah,
I mean, locally, I had those opportunities, but to get around the world to people and my music reach people around the world has been pretty amazing through these apps and that people don't want to necessarily use. And I know me, I've slacked off a lot more since before. I used to post all the time, do record videos and post. I don't do it nearly as much as I have in the past, but still try to post what I'm doing and that I'm still working and hey, I'm still out here. Me and Frank, we did a lot of our posting during the COVID years. And it was funny when I started posting that we're doing an event together. People are like, it's good to see that y'all still doing stuff because they used to see us all the time, doing stuff. And then we had a break because I believe there should still be some balance because he was a solo artist. I'm a solo artist. And I'm like, you don't want to feel like you're taking away from what you do solo to always do everything as a group or a pair. So I was like, I want to keep that balance of us still being able to be individuals, but still be able to come together and do our shows and content and things like that. So that's what we're doing. So we do stuff all the time. Even when we haven't been posting about it, we've been doing stuff over the years because we literally mesh well. We did a New Year's Eve event coming into 2021. And it was this lady named Tammy Green. I don't know if you heard of her, but she was a big time promoter out in the Charlotte area. And she was putting together that event. And she says, I've been watching you for years. She had just been watching me post content and my work ethic and everything, never said anything, didn't know who she was. And she thought enough of me and Frank, she said the same thing to him. We were the new people in the group. And she had Lynn Roundtree on that show. She had Jeff Bradshaw on that show. She had me and Frank on that show. So you put us in, you thought enough of us as people that nobody knows to be on this big New Year's Eve Zoom event. It was a Zoom event with thousands and thousands of people. It resonated with me. I'm like, we must be doing something right. And then that's when I met him and we realized we were doing the same thing. He's using a sax, I'm using a violin, but we both doing track shows, doing the same thing. So we started like kind of working together, like, hey, work together and build off of each other's platforms. And that's what we did.
That's amazing, though. I interviewed him. Did he tell you? Did he tell you I interviewed him, or did you see it?
I think you told me.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was going to ask you how you guys met because it's like you guys just mesh so well together, though. It's that soprano and the violin is just like right
Mhm.
there. You know what I mean?
Well, I
So,
like I like it with the soprano and the violin too. He brings all of them to the gig,
right.
but that's my favorite, the soprano and the violin. But yeah, that's how we met. We did a New Year's Eve Zoom event, and that's how we met.
For those, tell him his name for those that don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I got my little flyer for my show, so let
Yeah,
me
do
look
that.
so they can see his picture.
Right.
Y'all just saw him, Frank B.
Yeah.
Sax. He's Frank B. Sax on everything. Yeah, we do lots of things together.
Yeah, you know what? I have an interesting question for you. I read about the Stradivarius. Is that how you say it? The Strata?
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Stradivarius. The Mona Lisa one sold for was is worth 20 million, and the one for Baron Noop sold for 23 million this year. What?
I don't know. I like, and they're just gonna get them and just sit them on a shelf somewhere. It's not to be played. It's just like you just want to say you got it.
What is the difference? I mean, I don't know if you've seen it or whatever, 'cause I haven't seen it, but is it a difference than
It's
just old and famous, I guess, huh?
This is old and famous.
Yeah.
Stradivarius violins were like the prestige of violins.
Yeah.
And people, look, we don't even know. Some people don't even know that they have a Stradivarius instrument. Like some people have things that just been in their family, passed on, and then they just give it to their grandchild and it's worth $20 million. You know what I mean? It's just crazy about this stuff.
I say that is insane.
is, and people just got that money to just drop on it because I just want this collectible.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Not
But
because I just want to play it like I'm gonna sound like gold. No, they just want to say they have it.
you know what is Ron? The thing is with the music industry today is with the streaming and all that. It's hard for artists to make money anyway. So you're almost better off doing like you do in indie. If you want to release some or not, the thing is you're still working. People
Yeah,
want to see live music, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. I look at everything as like just another stream, another stream. I try to encourage my students. They don't realize like they don't want to practice, they don't want to do anything. I said, what if I don't want to practice? Nobody's gonna want to pay me to do what I do, you know? And I kind of give them a rundown of, listen, I'm teaching you, so I'm an educator. I'm a performer, so I make money performing, but then I throw my own shows, which means I make a percentage of the money as a performer and as the person that's throwing the show, you
right,
know, then I teach privately, which is another part of my business. Then don't talk about you do a workshop or something and you do a group of kids and do it for a limited amount of time and what that brings in. And I mean, it's sky's the limit. I hadn't gotten into it. I wrote a children's book. It's called You Are Enough. And I didn't know I was going to do that, but I mean, the book is about a child playing the violin, you know, so then tapped into that. So it can continue to do things. Now you're doing social media, and then what you can do on your social media, go live and make money just being there, you know. So it's just so many ways that you can make money doing what we do. And I don't think everybody maximizes, you know,
mhm,
everybody comfortable teaching. It's a lot of guys because I literally don't have any female musicians that I communicate with. That is the craziest thing. Everybody's a
what?
man, like none, none.
Wow.
Even know any personally outside of my coworkers, of course, but
Hmm.
like relationship wise, like all the people that I perform with, they have been men. There's one or two here and there that I bounce gigs off of, you know, sometimes, but we don't really have conversations and things much. But it's a lot of the guys, they don't feel comfortable teaching their instrument that they know. And
Right.
I'm like, I'm like, but you know the instrument, why wouldn't you teach it? But they don't want to teach it. Or it's I want to teach this age. You can. You literally can say, "Hey, I don't do beginners," or "Hey, I only teach beginners." You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
It's your business. You can do it. Or I need students with experience.
It's easier
It's
to teach then, huh? Is it a little easier to teach? Yeah.
like for me, I like beginners because when as they grow, I know that hey, I did that. I helped them get there. So you have something to measure it against. But I had some that started with me. I have my oldest private student. She's now 17. I think I had her when she was 13 or 12 or something. I think she was 12. And to see her blossom as a player, and now I put her on my shows.
Oh, wow.
Yep, she's performing on one of my Christmas shows, and she knows I'm like, hey, if I need a string player for something, she's gonna be doing, you know, I used her. I did a summer camp, a string summer camp. I got her to come in to help me teach the kids because she's old enough. She's what I was when I was out there, in the ministry and Psalms group, helping kids. Now it's her turn, so it's opportunities out there. You just gotta be creative, especially now with the economy so funny. I'm already thinking like, hey, if something go down, what can I do? What can I do? So I'm gonna start. I got a YouTube page, but I'm like, might need to do some teaching on YouTube. Like I never wanted to do that because I feel funny teaching to a camera, but I am trying to think about ways that I like can make money easily in case um they shut, I don't know, shut the school down. They always talk
Right.
about it. education system and stuff these days, you don't never know. So I remember in Alabama we had a when we had a recession, they were paying us from what they call the Sunshine Fund. So that they're paying the music teachers out a little fund. I was like, oh, I gotta find somewhere else to work because I know that I'm gonna have my check, you know.
Yeah,
But you just don't ever know. Like if they say music teacher's not relevant, now I gotta, go back to being a full-time entrepreneur, which is not a bad thing because I had a good time until somebody called me and said they wanted to give me a job. But yeah, so you just don't ever know. So you gotta kind of keep thinking and keep being creative because people do get bored too. You don't want people to get bored with what you do either.
well, you know what? You have I love your attitude. You know, you have a very positive attitude, and that definitely will definitely get you far. And
Thank
I'm
you.
sure that you're one of those that you're on time and you do everything that needs to be done. You're prepared when you get there.
I
So
try to
mhm.
I try I try to, and people don't realize that professionalism goes a long way. And I have always valued my name. Look, you see my name. I don't have a stage name. My name is my stage name. So I value it because it's gonna be with me whether I play violin or not.
That's right.
So my reputation is attached to it and I value my reputation. And so I try my best, even though I have made hiccups, like a slip up, something accidental I didn't mean or a oversight. I have had some of those moments, but they have been very minimal. And when I have, I try to figure out, okay, how can I make it right as a professional? Like, what am I going to do on my end for customer service to still make the client happy because it was my hiccup? And they appreciate that. I try to make sure that I get a good response when I'm booked privately and when I do stage shows and things like that because I want them to want me to come back.
That's right. That's right.
But I want them to book me again. So I try to give my best effort um all of the time.
Nice. That's amazing. So, how has your 2025 been music wise? How would you
Um
sum it up?
this year has been a little slower than it has been in previous years. Um, However, I mean, it's still been a good year. I stopped doing a whole lot of things and try to do more quality things, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because I am back at work, I can't take everything like I would before. It's just like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's I'm always like, let's go. So now I have to be a little bit more choosy because of my schedule, because I'm not as open during the day to be able to do things. So that's been a challenge, which has knocked me out of some things. However, sometimes, oh, I'm gonna take off and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. Oh, if it's worth it, I'm like, yeah, I'll go. But yeah, it's been a great year. Still trying, like I said, to do more stage performances. There's a lot of venues out here that's near me that are close driving distance that I have, sent emails to people, trying to get on at venues and still haven't had some opportunities. I've had a pretty decent track record with selling out events and shows. So, I don't know why the opportunities haven't presented themselves, but I do believe that uh God is the designer of everything. And when it is time, he will, if it's meant for me, he
Amen.
so therefore, I don't struggle. I just do my part, reach out, ask. The rest of it is on him.
That's all
And
you can do. Yeah, exactly. You know.
and all of this, if it's meant for me, it will. And so far, it's been a great journey. And I just always be like, the best is yet to come because I know it just get what they say gooder and gooder. It gets gooder and gooder as I continue to, stay the course, keep doing what I'm doing because it's like faith without works is dead. So if you're not trying to do no work, he ain't gonna meet you on the other end. So
You
just
already know.
Mhm. Yep. So just try to keep working.
Well, you know what, Javon, it's very stressful being a musician. I understand that. So what do you do to unwind? What kind of hobbies do you have when you're not playing music? What do you like to do?
Eat good food.
Okay.
Love eat good food. I enjoy live music too. So sometimes if I am not booked, I like to go out and, see some of the local people here. I used to do like that wraparound trip. Like if I have a gig, I'll drive, I'll do my gig, I'll get back in the car, and I come right back home because I want to lay in my own bed.
Oh, okay.
But now I've gotten to the point where if I have to travel somewhere, I'm like, I'm gonna go the night before, the day before. I'm gonna explore the city, see what they got, eat since I like good food, see where the good restaurants are that got the good reviews and go get good food, good wine. And if they got music, I'm gonna go and check out some music somewhere. And things like that because I'm like, it's not all that pressing, to kind of get back and kind of putting yourself in danger. So I was like, I'll just chill out, stay in the room, lay in a hotel room some and just don't do anything. So but I do that. I'm a crafter. I love to make things, and I haven't made anything in a long time because I haven't taken the time to do so. But I used to do woodwork and make noodle boards and welcome signs. I made wreaths, um, door wreaths. So I used to decorate houses for holidays. I have not done that in forever. I got a friend that's always like, "You didn't make my wreath for this season. You didn't decorate my door," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I did that. I'm sorry I didn't take the time, but I do enjoy doing it. It is very relaxing to do. I just haven't done it much in a while.
All
So
right.
I like to do.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, 5 years. So I've been really wanting to do an official tour. And when I mean official tour, like people look like you're always somewhere. It's like you touring. What's next? I'm like, it's not anything organized. I'm just these are just my dates I got on the books. However, I really want to set up something official. I want to be able to just say this time of year, whether it's the summertime, whatever, that these are my tour dates, and I'm going, you know, intentional about touring, if that makes sense. So, in the next 5 years, I want to say that I've at least done that a time or two. I am currently trying to get together a nonprofit because I do a lot of educational things through my business, but not from a nonprofit sense, where I can get financial support to make some things happen. So I'm going to be working towards getting my 501(c)(3) so that I can provide more music education services for special needs students. We got a lot of homeschool groups in our city because people are pulling their kids out of public school system. So I want to make sure that I am a tool for their music education and not have to always fund it out of my pocket. I was very fortunate. I did a program not last school year, but the school year before, and I had people donate instruments to me. I said, I don't want your money. I just want you to go on the site, order the instrument, get it shipped to me. And I was able to collect about 30 violins to
Wow.
to do group violin instruction. So if anyone ever asks me about coming to do a workshop with children, um, like teaching a co-op program for homeschool or anything, I have the resources to do it, whether it's private school, because a lot of our private schools don't have music. So I have the resources to do it so it won't feel like parents always have to pay out of pocket because some people, can't pay it. Um, However, they can still have the experience and everything and not have to worry about having to come out of pocket. And then when I've done my camp, I've had individuals that have been gracious enough to sponsor a child to come to camp. But all these people are just doing it based on relationship with me, not based on funding that I can get from people that actually fund this stuff for me to be able to do it.
I understand.
So those are the things I'm trying to kind of get kickstarted in the next 5 years.
And you know what? With your attitude and your tenacity, it's going to happen for you. I speak it into existence. Okay.
I receive it. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You know what, JaVonne? This has been a very interesting interview. I really appreciate your time. But before you go, I'd like you to give out any websites or anything, any booking information you like to people to know about.
Yeah, well, you can find me on social media, all of them, at JaVonne Jones Violin Music. As long as you see my name, that's my name. All right, at JaVonne Jones Violin Music on everything, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I do have YouTube, same thing at JaVonne Jones Violin Music. My website is javonnejonesviolinmusic.com. Anybody in the uh, down south, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, anywhere close, you just feel like driving, Frank B and I will be having a show December 13th here in I'm in Augusta, Georgia, but this will be in Evans, Georgia, which is actually right there. But it's called Stringing in the Holidays. This is my eighth show. I've done this for the past 8 years and try to bring in a different guest. And Frank was a hit when he came here. He's been here twice, I
Okay.
believe, me. Maybe more than that, maybe 3 times, but he's always been a hit
Yeah.
here and people want to see Frank. So I decided to bring him back. He was available to come. So it'll be myself and him on this String and Holiday show. It's a little intimate venue in Evans called Regal Suites and Spaces. We're doing 2 shows at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And you can get your tickets at javon.eventbrite.com. And that's it.
Amazing. Amazing. JaVonne, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I wish nothing but more continued success for you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I appreciate
Tell
you.
Frank I said, what's up?
I sure will. I will. Thank you so much, Mr. Parks, for the opportunity. This was
No,
great.
not no Mr. Parks, Dave. Okay. Yeah. Thank
Sorry.
you. Okay. Well, you
I
know what?
got
This is going to be on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to upload it. So I will send it. I will send you the link so you can put it on your Facebook or your YouTube if you like. And you already
you.
have Facebook. Okay.
Okay, yes, sir. I got you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. It
you.
was so nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too.
You
Thank
take
you.
care. All right.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the wonderful JaVonne Jones, violinist extraordinaire. And she gave you all her information. If you are in the areas, check her out. Her and Frank B, they get it in. So just check out all of her stuff anywhere that she's on, all her platforms. And I really appreciate you guys. So it's Dave, saxologist for Saxofriends. You guys take care.